Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mr. Huck, and buckle up because I'm about to share a ManyChat secret that's so exclusive Google could not even help me find a solution. And trust me when I say I have looked at every corner of the internet trying to find a solution and came up empty handed. But don't worry, I've got your back. Today, we're diving into tips for ManyChat users that isn't widely discussed. Have you ever faced the challenge of managing multiple messages from single users in a way that feels natural and seamless? If you're thinking, wait, can ManyChat even handle multiple messages? You're not alone. I was thinking the same thing. This tip can transform how you handle user interactions, making them more effective and intuitive. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal how to capture every single message your user sends, even if they're rapid fire texter, process multiple messages to get the full context of what the customer really wants. This isn't just another many chat trick. It's a complete game changer that I had to engineer from scratch because no one else was talking about how to handle multiple incoming messages. Now, a quick note, this isn't a beginner's guide to ManyChat. I'm assuming you have some knowledge of ManyChat and know your way around the platform. If not, pause this video right now, go brush up on the basics. This tutorial is about taking your existing bot to the next level. You can customize it and build whatever you want on top of the solution. With that understood, let's dive deeper into why handling multiple messages is such a big deal. To understand this, we need to look at how ManyChat works and why that can be a problem in real world conversations. In ManyChat, the default behavior when a user sends a message is to store the message in a variable and move on. This approach works well when your user provides all the information in a single message. However, in real world conversations, users often send messages in multiple texts in a quick succession, especially when they have a lot to say or when they're responding to a question that requires more than a simple yes or no, or whenever they're trying to clarify their thoughts. Here's the deal. ManyChat, in all its glory, has a bit of a one-track mind. When a user sends a message to ManyChat, it triggers an automation. ManyChat does what it does best. It stores the message in a variable and moves on to the next step in the flow. Here's the issue. This only works if your user is the type to pack all their thoughts into one neat and tidy message. But let's be real, who actually texts like that? So here's an example. Imagine you run an e-commerce store and you ask your customer what they're looking for. Instead of sending one long message, they might break up their response into several shorter messages. So let's say the user sends, I'm looking for a running shoe. This is their first message. The bot captures this and starts processing. And then the user quickly adds something lightweight. And then, do you have anything a size 9? This is three messages back to back. And the bot responds, hello, how can I help you today? Talk about a facepalm moment. Your bot just ignored two-thirds of what the customer said. Your potential customer is wondering if anyone is actually listening. This frustration, it's like a conversation killer. In the world of online business, where attention spans are shorter than TikTok videos, you can't afford to give your user a reason to bounce. And trust me, feeling ignored is a one-way ticket to bounce. This limitation of ManyChat isn't just annoying for users, it's potentially damaging to your brand. And in this age where personalized, responsive communication is the gold standard, a bot that can't keep up with a simple multi message conversation is like showing up to a smartphone convention with a rotary dial. It makes your brand look out of touch and behind the times. This problem is even more critical in professional settings where detailed communication is essential. Now, Let's look at a real world example of one of my clients. As a real estate agent with a large Instagram following, he used a chatbot to capture leads coming in from his DMs. A typical conversation might start with a "Hey, how are you?" followed by a quick "I'm looking for a one bedroom condo downtown, and I'm also open to a one plus den unit." But the bot only captured the first message. So instead of getting a response about available condos, the potential buyer got a generic, "Thanks for your interest. What kind of property are you looking for?" Talk about a missed opportunity. Because of this problem, it creates a domino effect. Users are frustrated. When a bot ignores part of what they've said, the user feels unheard and misunderstood. There is incomplete information. Your bot, and by extension, your team, misses out on details you need to provide accurate help. There is inefficiency. Your team has to spend time manually reviewing the conversation to piece together what the user actually wanted. There's lost opportunities. The user might just get frustrated and simply leave, taking his business somewhere else. And last, you're damaging your brand. So over time, your brand becomes known as that annoying bot that never listens, and that is never good. But the impact goes beyond just losing a sale. In the age of social media, one frustrated user tells another, who tells another, and before you know it, you're the brand that has that one dumb bot. That can really tarnish your reputation. And the cherry on top, when your bot drops the ball like that, guess who has to swoop in and clean up the mess? That's right, you and your team. There's nothing less efficient than manually handling conversations a bot should have managed. This issue highlights a significant shortfall in ManyChat's standard functionality. The bot fails to account for natural flow of human conversation. The user expects that when they send multiple messages back to back, the bot will understand and process everything they've said, not just the first part. When the bot only captures the first part of the conversation, it fails to provide a complete, nuanced response that the users are looking for. This gap can lead to miscommunication and over time erode trust in your services. Addressing this is crucial for creating a seamless, human like user experience that makes interactions feel more natural and engaging. So, what's the solution? We need a method that allows ManyChat to handle and store messages separately, ensuring that none of the user inputs are lost. This approach not only improves the accuracy of your bot's responses, but also makes the interaction feel more human and personalized. Now that we've identified the issue, let's dive into the solution. The key to effectively managing multiple back to back messages in ManyChat is to set up a system that can handle and store each message separately, ensuring no part of the conversation is lost or ignored. My solution revolves around these three components. We have to create custom fields. Think of these as your bot's short term memory. We'll set up a series of custom fields, let's call them DM1, DM2, DM3, and so on. Each one of these will store separate messages that the user sends. Then we'll set up conditional logic. This is where we teach our bot to be a bit more, well, logical. We'll set up a series of if and then statements that help the bot decide what to do after each incoming message. We'll set up a looping mechanism. This is the secret sauce that ties all of this together. We'll create a loop that keeps the bot ready for the next message. Now, I know what you're thinking. ManyChat doesn't have a built in loop function. And you're right, that's where your creativity comes in. We'll use a combination of smart delays and conditions to create our own DIY loops. The beauty of this system is that it allows your bot to capture multiple messages in rapid succession. Whether you send two messages or 10, your bot will be ready. And once we've got all of these messages, we'll compile them into one final message, giving your bot and you the full context of what the user is saying. With all that said, let's build the solution. So first thing, there's going to be a link in the description, and it's going to take you to this page. Once at this page, go ahead and click Save to ManyChat, and it's going to copy this template to your profile, and we can take it from there. Once you've copied the automation to your account, just open up the automation editor and let's go over the workflow. So first things first, we need to give our bot a memory upgrade and create custom fields in ManyChat to store each incoming message. So think of these fields as containers where each message from your user will be stored individually. For instance, I've created these variables called DM1, DM2, and DM3, and so on. These fields will act as placeholders for incoming messages in sequence. As each message arrives, it will be stored in the next available field. Next, we will set up the conditional logic. With your custom fields in place, let's set up a conditional logic that checks for new messages and stores them appropriately. This is where the power of ManyChat's conditional block comes into play. This is where we'll start our DIY loop. So here's the idea. After your initial trigger, such as the user sends a message, we'll set up a conditional block to see if DM1 is empty. If it is, the first message will be stored in DM1. And if the next message comes in and DM1 is already filled, the condition will check if DM2 is empty, and so on. The reason we set user field DM2 a full stop is because if we don't set this and the user sends one message or two message and the DM field is not populated, it's going to have a reference text there, which is going to interfere with the sentence that we're going to compile later on. So we will also use a period because we can't leave it empty. We can't use this empty space. ManyChat won't let us save. Let's see. For instance, if your user sends three messages in quick succession, let's say I'm looking for running shoes, that's going to be stored in DM1. It's going to set DM2 to a full stop. And then he sends something lightweight. That's going to check if DM1 is unknown. No, we already have a message there. It's going to check if DM1 has a value. It does. And DM2 is full stop. It's going to go set the next message, something lightweight, to DM2. Step 3 is where things get interesting. You'll want to ensure that ManyChat waits for all the messages before moving forward in the automation. This is particularly useful if we anticipate the user to send multiple messages over a short period. After your action step, we will add a smart delay. Right now it's 20 seconds. I've just added this so I could test it out. Go ahead and change this to however long you will need. I usually set it to 1 or 2 minutes. Why? Well, we're giving our users a chance to finish their thoughts. It's like waiting for someone to finish their sentence before you respond. It's just good manners, really. This approach prevents the bot from prematurely responding before all the relevant information has been gathered. It also helps in maintaining the natural flow of conversation, making the interaction feel more human. Next is the looping method. Since ManyChat doesn't inherently support looping through conditions, we'll create a pseudo loop by chaining conditions together. After each message is stored, the system checks if there is a new message, and if so, it stores it in the next available field. So in this example, we'll see if DM1 is filled, the condition checks for DM2. If DM2 is filled, it checks for DM3. And it continues the process until all fields have been populated. This setup allows ManyChat to handle multiple back-to-back messages as part of a single conversation, giving you complete context you need to respond appropriately. And here's where things get crafty. After the smart delay, we'll add another condition step to check the count variable. If the count variable is unknown, we're going to move to the next step. If it's not unknown, we'll pause right there. This is done so that we don't send messages 3 times, 4 times, depending on how many times the user sends the message. Why would it send the message 3 times? That is because if the user sends 3 messages and every time a DM variable is updated, the smart delay is triggered. So when the first message comes in, it's going to trigger the smart delay. When the second message comes in, it's going to trigger the smart delay. When the third message comes in, it's going to trigger the smart delay. So the smart delay has been activated 3 times at this point. So once the first smart delay finishes, and we're going to add enough time so it does, it's going to take all the fields that have been populated at that time and move on to the action. And it's going to compile. And it's going to set the count to 1 in this action. When we set the count to 1 in this action, it's indicating that we have compiled this set of messages and we can move forward rather than it going back into this action when the smart delay finishes for DM2 and DM3. So this creates our DIY loop. It's telling your bot to keep listening until all message slots are full or the user stops talking. Once all the messages have been received and sorted in their respective fields, the next step is to combine them into a single coherent message. This is done by this action step right here. We create a new custom field called message and set the value to DM1 period, DM2 period, DM3. We add periods in the middle so it acts like sentences and when it's combining all the fields together. Now, this message field contains the full context of what the user has communicated. Next, we'll clear the user fields DM1, DM2, and DM3 as we've taken the output and compiled them in the message field above, and we no longer need them, so we have reset them for the next iteration. Once we have the full message compiled into this message field, we can do whatever we want with it. Whether you're using the flow to trigger other specific flows, sending it to an AI for processing, or just displaying it back to the user like we're doing it in this case, just for testing, we can do whatever. Of course, in a real world scenario, you'd probably want to do something more sophisticated with the full message like sentiment analysis or keyword extraction, but that's a topic for another video. After combining all the messages into that custom message field, don't forget to reset the fields DM1, DM2, and DM3. This ensures that your bot is ready to handle the next sequence of messages seamlessly. By following these steps, you can transform how your ManyChat bot interacts with users, making the conversation feel more natural. So once we've processed the message and we've sent it over to the user or whatever we are doing with the whole message, the last step would be to add another smart delay. Right now it's 30 seconds. I was just using this for testing, but let's say we add it for 5 minutes just to wait for all the responses to have come in. Next, we'll add an action step in the end. We'll clear both message and count fields so our DIY loop is ready to go again. This ensures that we're starting fresh for the next iteration, preventing any mix-up of data from previous interactions. And one last thing, just make sure that the trigger is set to when user sends a direct message. To set this up, just go to your settings, Instagram. The first field is set default reply. Let's go to select existing and go ahead and choose this automation and you're set up. So next comes testing. So let's see. Sent myself a test message. The first message came in, hello, how are you? It is stored in DM1. It set DM2 to a period. Second message came in, I'm looking for some shoes. It stored it in DM2. And the third message, size 9 in black please, stored in DM3. It activated the smart delay and sent us back those 3 DMs concatenated so we have the full picture of what the user is trying to say. Next, it cleared the message field and cleared the count field, getting ready for the next iteration of messages. So finally, after setting everything up, it's crucial to test the flow thoroughly. Stimulate various user interactions to ensure that your bot captures all the messages correctly and responds with the full context in mind. If I had to give some tips for testing, they would be try different scenarios where user sends different messages at different intervals. Try different scenarios where users send messages at different intervals. Ensure that the message field accurately reflects all user inputs. Make adjustments as necessary to the delays, the conditions, so that you can perfect the timing of the flow. Make sure your bot's final response incorporates all the information from the multiple messages. If you find any hiccups along the way, don't worry, that's just part of the process. Adjust the delays, refine it until everything runs smoothly. Now, I know what you're thinking. This seems like a lot of steps, and you're right, but we're teaching our bot to do something that it is not originally designed to do. We're pushing the boundaries of what is possible in ManyChat. The beauty of the system is its flexibility. You can easily adjust the number of messages it can handle by adding more DM variables and matching the pattern that's already going. You can adjust the wait times between the messages, and what you do with the compiled messages is up to you. All right, we're in the home stretch now. So you've seen the problem, you've got the solution, and now it's time to discuss the benefits and use cases of the solution. First, let's talk about the benefits. By implementing this system, you're not just upgrading your bot, you're upgrading you're upgrading your entire customer interaction experience. Here's what you're looking at: an improved user experience. Your customers will feel heard and understood. No more frustrating repetition or missed details. It's like giving each one of your followers or users their own personal assistant who hangs on to every word. There's better context understanding. By capturing multiple messages, you're getting a full picture of what your user wants. It's like going for a movie trailer and seeing the whole film. Suddenly, everything is making sense. We'll see increased conversion rates when your bot understands users better. It can provide more accurate responses and recommendations. This means happier customers, and you guessed it, more sales. Time and resource saving. Yeah. So less manual intervention means your team can focus on high value tasks instead of playing the cleanup crew for the bot's mishaps. And the competitive edge. In a world where most bots still struggle with multiple messages, your bot will stand out like a rocket scientist at a kindergarten fair. Now let's explore some exciting use cases. You can use this newfound multi-message system in various industries. E-commerce. Imagine a customer asking about a product feature, sizing, and shipping all in separate messages. Your bot can now capture it all and provide a comprehensive response. Customer support. Users often share problem details in multiple messages. With this system, your bot can gather all the info before troubleshooting, leading to faster, more accurate resolutions. Lead qualification. In a B2B scenario, prospects might share various requirements over several messages. Your bot can now collect all the details, making lead scoring and routing more efficient. Event planning. For services like wedding planning and corporate events, clients often share ideas sporadically. Your bot can keep track of all these ideas, creating a comprehensive brief and getting the whole picture. Health and wellness. Patients may share some symptoms, medication details, and other concerns in separate messages. The system allows the health bot to gather all this crucial information and provide more accurate guidance. And let's not forget about our real estate client. With this system in place, his bot can now capture every detail about potential buyers' dream homes, from a number of bedrooms to preferred school district and all the other stuff. Best part is this is just the tip of the iceberg. This application is limited only to your imagination. You can apply this to a bot that sells cupcakes or an airline or a pottery class. This multi-message handling system can elevate your bot from a single chatbot to a conversation maestro. All right, we've reached the finish line. Remember, handling multiple user messages effectively isn't just a neat trick. It's crucial for creating seamless and engaging user experiences in ManyChat. By implementing these strategies we've discussed, such as using custom fields, conditional logic, and message consolidation, you can ensure that your chatbot captures the full context of every conversation. This approach not only improves the accuracy of your bot's responses, but also elevates your entire customer interaction game. Remember, the key to a successful automation is understanding how your end user will interact with the system. And in this case, that would be that the user often communicates in multiple short messages rather than one long one. By adapting your bot to this behavior, you'll build stronger connections with your audience, which can lead to an increased trust and higher engagement rates. It's not just about being faster, it's about being smarter. And with this new system, your bot got a whole lot smarter. Now that you're equipped with this powerful strategy, it's time to put it into action. Start optimizing your current ManyChat flows and watch how much smoother, more effective your interactions become. Start small. If you need to, maybe just add it to your most important flow, but start because every conversation you're not fully capturing is a missed opportunity to wow your customer and to grow your business. Lastly, if you found this video helpful, smash the like button. And if you want more automation hacks and many chat tips, hit the subscribe button and ring that bell. Let me know what you'd like me to build next in the comments, and I'll make a video about it. Until next time, keep automating, keep innovating, and this is Mr. Huck signing off.